This episode of the Hot Highlight was about to be delayed by a huge storm where I live, but it is past and we have got the sun, so let's get it started. What is going on, everybody? My name is Nick from MWK-Pop, and I want to welcome you back for another episode of the Hot Highlight. Of course, this is a show where I break down the last week of releases and I share my 3 favorite songs from the last week. Also, maybe possibly talk about another couple of songs that I was not able to include in my 3 favorites. So, how does this work? Just 3, 2, 1, go. What is going on, everybody? My name is Nick from MWK-Pop, and I want to welcome you back for another episode of the Hot Highlights. Of course, this is a show where I highlight the latest releases in K-pop, especially from the last week. I give you my 3 favorite songs of the week and talk about a couple of others. The 3 favorite songs from this week that I reveal in this episode are eligible to vote for next week's Hot Highlights Top 20, so check the description below for a link to vote for that. Votes, you can vote once every 24 hours. You can vote for as many groups as you want, so don't forget, once you vote today, to come back tomorrow and keep on voting. So with that said, let's get into my 3 favorite songs of the week. Starting off the top 3 favorite songs of the week, we're going from basically the first song released in the week to the last, and the first one just happens to be Girls' Day's Ring My Bell. And as it happens, we are going in order from my least favorite to most favorite as the week goes on, and Ring My Bell is, of course, probably not my favorite Girls' Day song. It definitely is not my favorite Girls' Day song ever. It definitely is a pretty decent song and it has a lot of value. I'm not saying it's a bad song in any way, but it kind of, comes across for me the same way that Female President did as far as, a Girls' Day song, where it's not bad, but it just isn't, it just doesn't sit well with me. It just didn't click, if that makes any sense. Of course, there's got a little bit of everything for, anybody, you've got the girls, of course, and their legs, because of course the legs are the most important part of the entire music video, considering the outfit that they're wearing in about half of the entire video. The song itself, pretty catchy, upbeat, it's pretty good, but it definitely is not, in my opinion, their best offering. And, consider from the period from when they became popular to now, I think that this probably might be, at least in my taste, my least favorite Girls' Day song released. Which, it's not saying that's a bad song. I'm not saying it's bad in any way, because I'll never really ever say that there is such thing as a bad song. It's just, I didn't really like it too much as far as it being a Girls' Day song. If it were any other group, or if it was just some group that I'd never heard of before, I definitely would probably be saying that I liked it a whole lot more than I am now. But because again, it's Girls' Day and I do have, some expectations and, some other, really, really, really good songs to compare it against, I can't say that I like this one too much. So we got Girls' Day out of the way. It's time to move on to the next song. So let's reveal it right. Girls' Generation making their first Korean comeback since Jessica was removed from the group. And if you didn't know, but of course you probably do know, of course, unlike me when I went into my music video reaction for it, Catch Me If You Can was a Japanese release with a Korean version, which comparing Party, this most recent pre-release for their newest Korean album, Catch Me If You Can is without a doubt my favorite song of the year so far as Girls' Generation releases goes. Not saying that this is really a bad song again, but sort of the thing with Girls' Day, it just was a song that didn't quite click with me. And I don't know, maybe it's because I've reached the point in summer where I am, worn out and I'm tired of all of these, summer concepts. But of course, it's summer and they went with the summer look and the summer concept. Of course, they pulled it off flawlessly because, the Girls' Generation girls are absolutely gorgeous. There is no denying that. So of course they looked fantastic, but nobody really stood out to me as having any particularly impressive, visuals in this except for Sunny and her red hair and the coordinating, you know, outfits that went with that. Just in general, her entire look, and basically the only thing that I really care about, her red hair. Her hair is absolutely amazing. She, as far as I'm concerned, was definitely the best looking one out of the entire group. The most striking visual in the entire group in the video, definitely, and she definitely did catch my attention. If you watch my music video reaction, I definitely do, you know, of course, that is something that I mentioned. And I do think that a lot of other people do agree with me with that as well, that Sunny definitely is the highlight of the music video. The song, again, it's pretty good. Definitely not my, you know, favorite Girls' Generation song that I've ever heard, which I haven't listened to too many, but, you know, it's definitely a really, really solid pre-release song, which I believe that this is what it is. You know, it's a good song to be like, hey, Girls' Generation's here, and a way to, you know, introduce us and get us ready for this, you know, just like they kind of, you know, of course, because it's kind of a tactic, I guess you can say, to have a pre-release song that is not quite as strong or as good as the main release that you're going to be having, which, you know, of course is expected and stuff like that. But, you know, so we're not really judging this so much on the fact that this is the song from the album. But on the other hand, you do have to take into account that, I mean, it's a song, it's a music video, they're promoting it, or they will probably be promoting this at one point or another. We'll see it a couple times on a couple music shows without a doubt, but it definitely is not the best song, you know, that they've ever done, that they've ever released, that they've ever made a music video for. But what it does do really well is get us interested and, you know, let us know that there's a new album coming. And that is pretty much basically the entire point of the song in the video, is to say Girls' Generation is back. This is kind of a thing that you could possibly expect as far as what to expect on the album. And it's not a bad song, so it's a good way to get us interested in the upcoming album. So there you go. Girls' Day and Girls' Generation are two of the three favorites. We gotta reveal my last one, so let's do it right now. I would be absolutely crazy if I didn't include Crush and his song Oasis in my top three. And I definitely think that you would agree with me that if this was not in my top three, it would be a crime against humanity, or just a crime in general, and I should be arrested and locked up in jail. But have no fear, Crush is my favorite song of the week, or has my favorite song of the week. This is definitely, without a doubt, like, this is Crush, and, you know, his music and this song in particular, it has that aesthetic, or has a feeling where I can't quite explain why I like it so much, which, you know, on one hand, I really, really hate that, because I want to, you know, be able to explain and share and tell you guys why I like it so much. But on the other hand, I want to say that that's a fantastic thing, because, you know, when you're making music that just has that quality, that unexplainable quality to it that people love, and they just can't quite explain why they're into it so much, that is really, really fantastic. You know, when you're making music like that, that is really, really special. And, you know, maybe this, you know, this sort of genre of music and this whatever is not really my sort of thing. But when I hear a good song, no matter what the genre is, when I hear a song that I like, I love it, and I, you know, cannot deny that I like it. So if, you know, I wasn't so, you know, inclined, I wasn't particularly inclined to check out his album before I listened to this song, just because it's not really my style. But after listening to this song, it definitely has me interested. And the interesting thing that I, you know, wasn't really expecting, I didn't know what to expect before I went into this, was, of course, Zico from Block B is featured in this song. And I wasn't quite sure how exactly he was going to fit into this, because, you know, he has, as far as, you know, what we know, what, you know, is, you know, most popularly known, widely known by your average, you know, follower of Block B, or, you know, just someone who's into K-pop in general, is that you know what to expect from Zico. You know, his rap verses have a, you know, it's basically, he has a trademark cadence and trademark sounds to his, you know, his rap verse. They just kind of flow like they do. You know, the same thing, of course, you hear it every single time that he basically has a rap verse, a solo rap verse in a Block B song. You heard it in his collab where he featured in Park Baram's debut song as well. You know, he had that flow, which is, you hear it, whether or not you actually know, you know, of course, it's easily identifiable as Zico. This song, he was a completely different person. as far as, you know, his vocal style, the flow of his lines. And of course, if he were to try and fit his, you know, usual sound and flow into the song, it really wouldn't have fit that well. But, you know, the fact that he was able to pull this off and was a fantastic, you know, it's just a really, really strong addition to the entire song is really, really awesome. So, you know, he kind of, I mean, I was expecting that he wasn't going to be doing the same thing that he normally does, but, you know, whatever it is, he did a really good job with it, and I'm very, very impressed. And one more thing too, not only was Zico in there, but Zion T also made a surprise appearance in the music video, unannounced, of course. He was not, you know, nobody knew that he was going to be in there leading up to his final 30 seconds in the music video, but, you know, he definitely did have a part. He showed up, he said a couple words, and he was just physically present, and you got to see him and his, basically, I guess, his trademark look with his glasses. So, I mean, overall, it was a fantastic song. It definitely has got me interested to check out the album. I haven't yet, but I don't have, because I haven't had the time, but I definitely will in the coming days. So, there you go. Those are my top three, not my top three, yes, my three favorite songs from the week. Unfortunately, I don't have a song to highlight. I just didn't find anything that I thought was particularly worth mentioning so far this week. Maybe if I go back and listen to some more songs that I missed from the previous week, then we'll have something to talk about. But as of recording right now, I don't. So that's going to be it. I just want to remind you that those three songs, Crush, Girls' Generation, and Girls' Day, are up to vote for next week's Hot Highlights Top 20. If you check the description below for a link to an easy poll to vote, you can vote. You can vote once every 24 hours, and every single time you vote, you can make as many selections as you want. So, of course, if you want to vote for 10 artists every single time, you can do that. And once you vote today, don't forget to come back tomorrow and keep on voting until the polls are closed. So, until next time, which should be tomorrow for the Hot Highlight Top 20, thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.